Hi, I'm Kevin Ramirez, NMLS instructor with AAA Mortgage Training. I've been offering the NMLS pre-licensing 20-hour course for many years now, and I've helped hundreds, if not thousands, of students prepare and study for the challenging NMLS test. One thing that separates me from most NMLS providers is that all my classes are live webinar where we are talking, discussing, asking questions, all the challenging material. It's a real learning environment where I set you up with a proper foundation to become a strong loan officer in the industry, and of course, be properly prepared to pass the NMLS test. You may not know this, but a lot of NMLS providers, they offer a less expensive class. For a reason is because you'll be doing a self-paced class with them where you're mostly just reading the material by yourself. And I don't know about you, but I usually have trouble learning that way. Do I need to focus on this? Is this important? What does this mean? I need to ask questions. I need to engage with someone. That's where I come in. And that's where, like I said, I've helped out many students pass the test on their first attempt, many of them above 90% score, by the way. So let me give you a little teaser. I'm going to put some information in the chat of how you can sign up for my class. I don't offer it all that often, so consider yourself lucky if you get in my class, but I'll have information for you in the chat. Let me share my screen of this 7-part teaser series just to give you a taste of what it's like to be in my learning environment. Okay, share my screen now. So what I'm showing here is the NMLS website. The NMLS website, of course, is public information here. In the class, I don't just go through the 20 hours and check a box and that sort of thing. I'm going to really make sure you are aware of how to progress from knowing nothing to, again, taking my course, passing the test, and becoming licensed by individual states. And by the way, that's how it works. Take my course, I help you prepare, you got to study your butt off. And after that, when you take the test, you do the happy dance. And then at that point, you'll be able to move on and go ahead to apply for state licenses. And people always say, "Hey, Kevin, I want to get licensed in California. I want to get licensed in I want to get licensed in this state or that state." Well, the national exam covers the requirement for all of that. So that's the good news here. So what I'm looking here on the website, I'll tell you in the class how to pay for the test, where you can take the test at a testing center, or you can take it at home now these days. But I'm going to show you something here. Under professional standards of their website, under the testing option, there's lots of good information about it. The first thing here where it says test content outline, well, actually, I have that up for you already. This is probably one of the better things. Let me move this out of the way here. This is one of the better things that they offer you, the folks that make the NMLS test to help prepare properly. So you can see they have a breakdown of what may be on the test here, the different sections. Now, more importantly, the outline showing, okay, federal laws, various federal laws, what do you need to know, and on and on. My class is geared towards, of course, this outline because that's the best way to prepare what might be on your test. You may not be aware, there's actually different versions. So you might study really hard on one thing and know it really well. You might only get one question. Well, your friend might take it and actually get 5 questions on it. It's just there's different versions. So just be aware of that. But as I'm scrolling through, sorry, I hope I'm not making you dizzy here. I want to show you near the end. They have some links here where you could click on and read more about it. But good luck when you do, because you'll notice it's very difficult, not fun reading. That's where I step in. I help translate this for you because, again, I'm a training professional. I've been doing this in my career, even outside the NMLS course, and I know how to make sure you truly learn this material. I'll click on this to show you a little bit of my training guide here and a little bit more about my class before I jump in. Is I usually break it up a live webinar, usually into little small tidbits so your brains don't turn off as you're learning from me. On top of that, it's I record every session, so you're always welcome to go back and watch the sessions because, as you can see, I talk fast a little sometimes. But not only that, there's so much information you got to absorb it all. So you could go back and watch my recorded videos at your leisure once you take my class. And I actually have quizzes. So there's quizzes along the way so that you could kind of gauge how you're absorbing the material. Are you really following along and staying on pace? So quizzes after each session. I have several practice tests with hundreds of questions that students tell me are crafted very challenging, just like the real exams. So that's good because you don't want to get a false sense of confidence with what I've heard of NMLS providers. They have very easy tests, and you go take the real test, you're totally caught off guard. And by the way, Even if you've taken the 20 hours with another company before, I still encourage you to come to me if you haven't passed the test yet. That's many of my students, unfortunately, spent some money elsewhere only to find out they were not properly prepared. They come to me and I help them get the job done the right way. So, in addition to the quizzes and tests, I also offer a study plan. I tell you exactly how to prepare, how to study. I even tell you when you should take the test after my course and schedule it. And I even have test taking tips because maybe some of you are just not the best test takers or study folks. So that's all right. I got all that material for you. I've been doing this for many years. So I believe I cracked the code and how to get you in a very strong position to pass the test. Now, showing you the training guide here that I'd provide for you. Just scrolling on down, you see I have a table of contents so you can refer back to. But in this little teaser, I'm just going to go over the first page and give you an idea of what we might talk about on the first day. So here's the breakdown you just saw from the NMLS outline. Let's talk a little bit more about the test. It's 120 multiple choice questions. Now there's 4 answer options. It's not going to be B and C or D, all the above. There's just gonna be one answer. But of those one answers, there might be, a couple that look very plausible, and you got to kind of use the old noggin to figure out, okay, well, that's a good answer, but this answer might be the better answer because it encompasses that answer plus more. Does that make sense? So in my class, I teach you how to think like this, how to approach it from the proper mindset, how to be a better test taker for this test. So it's not just memorization. You cannot just memorize and walk in. These are challenging questions like with applied knowledge, meaning that you need to know the concept and what would you do with this information in a real life scenario. Many folks struggle with that. Again, I will help you with that. So of the 120 questions, only 115 are scored. They throw out 5 questions. You don't even know which ones. It could be 5 you got correct. But of the 115, you could miss 28 because you only have to get a 75%. A lot of my students have gotten over 90. Highest score was 97. I would love for one of you to beat that. But again, 75, 100% doesn't matter. Just pass the test, get your foot in the door, and start this great career in the mortgage industry. The uniform state content portion that you see up here, it's a small part of the test, but it's so important because unfortunately in the old days, you would have to take the national test and many state exams like I did. But now you take this one national NMLS test, you're good. You're good to go. You do not have to test anymore. To clarify, like I said, after you pass the test, you have to apply to every state agency to get that state license. Some states may require some additional education, maybe 1 hour or 2 hours. There's no big test or nothing. You just go online. It's very inexpensive and just kind of knock it out. But I'm just letting you know, this NMLS 20-hour course that I offer to prepare you for the test, that is the toughest point, barrier of entry to get into the mortgage industry as a loan officer. But I've been doing this and I will help you. If someone fails the national NMLS exam on their first or second attempt, they must wait 30 calendar days before they can retake the exam. So you notice in my book, my workbook here is there will be blanks and you have to fill in the blanks and I will give you the answers. It'll be on my instructor guide on the screen. So it'll be very clear to you what the answer is. But I do this on purpose. I want you to stay engaged. I want you to be writing. I want you to be active in the class. This is not a passive learning. This is active learning here to help maximize your knowledge retention. I know that people's brains work differently. Some people learn better by seeing or hearing or doing. Obviously, I'm trying to appeal to all 3 of those methods here. If you happen to fail, unfortunately, on the 3rd attempt, well, then you have to wait 180 days. That's 6 months before you retake the exam. So ouch. But again, even folks that take my class, not everyone passes on their first attempt. Some people don't properly prepare. And I even ask them, was it me? Did I steer you wrong? I want to know because I care. And they tell me, you know what, Kevin, it wasn't that. You were on point. It was just I underestimated the test. I didn't study the right way. I didn't follow your study plan. So there you go. Like I said, I can't guarantee you'll pass, but I'll put you in a very strong position if you do what I tell you to do. Now, safe pre-licensing. First, what does safe even stand for? We cover this in the class. We cover all these details. But the requirements to be licensed, well, first you must register on the NMLS and obtain a unique identifier. That's what you would write here. Now, we call this your NMLS number, but the test makers, they use fancy talk sometimes. So unique identifier would be the better way to describe that. So also to get licensed, you'll need to provide fingerprints. Why? Because they're going to do a background check on you. They're going to do a criminal and credit report check on you. Now, every state's different. Some states are stricter, some states are more lenient, but generally speaking, they really don't want you to have any foreclosures or bankruptcies in the last 3 years. It's you, because if you're going to be in the financial industry giving out financial guidance, well, I want to make sure that you've made strong financial decisions with your own personal history there. They don't want you to have any convicted felonies within the last 7 years. Okay, you write 7 years in there, which I think is interesting, right? You had a felony 8 years ago. Just say you're sorry, you won't do it again. You're welcome in our industry. You will never be licensed if convicted of a financial crime such as fraud or money laundering, like say white collar crime, right? You were in a position of power, like you did embezzlement or something like that. You did breach of trust. Again, you abused the public trust with for your own financial gain. Something with moral turpitude. What do these fancy words mean? Well, moral turpitude is an act or behavior that gravely violates the sentiment, the acceptance, and community. So you're getting a little taste here of my energy. Yes, I like to keep it upbeat. Yes, I like to have fun with you, right? And I want to make sure you really get all the information, like I said, not just to pass the test, but set you up in a great place to become a strong loan officer. In fact, many folks in my class, if you live more in the Southern California area, they go, Kevin, awesome, I took your class, loved it, passed the test. Now what do I do? Well, again, you got to apply the state licenses, but a great thing to do would be get hired by a lender. A lot of lenders would love to hire you there and actually have a lot of connections. Just a little free service I offer for many of my students. I can't guarantee you a job, but I'll at least put you in the right direction because maybe get you set up with an interview and such. Just one of the added services because I do care about your career beyond my 20-hour course. Well, that's it for now. I'm Kevin Ramirez with AAA Mortgage Training. Again, I'm going to ask that you check out the chat, and you'll see headset's falling off here. You'll see that how to sign up for my class. So please do so. You can reach out to me with any questions, and take a look at my other teaser videos on YouTube to get another idea just what the class is going to look like. Take care, guys.